Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to speak in support of this amendment. I continue to be deeply concerned about the efforts by our majority to cut nutrition programs that support the most vulnerable families in our communities, families with children, families that include veterans, and of course our seniors. And this comes at a time when, like I said earlier, Kansans are facing higher prices at the grocery store. From 2020 to 2024, retail food prices rose over 23%. We are talking about $6 a day in support here. These increased prices are squeezing families at the grocery store, and President Trump's reckless approach to these tariffs has threatened to drive up grocery costs even more. For the families struggling to make ends meet, groceries tend to take up an even bigger proportion of their budgets. Cutting nutrition programs at a time when all families are facing higher food costs will have serious consequences. We should be working across the aisle to address the current administration's trade war, combating avian influenza, strengthening our food supply chains, and lowering costs for hardworking families. This bill does not do that, but this amendment might get us a little step closer. I am supporting this amendment, and I would like to yield the remainder of my time to Congresswoman Hayes.
Congresswoman Hayes is recognized.
Thank you, Congresswoman Davids. I hear many of my Republican colleagues saying over and over that the legislation before us does not cut benefits. If that is the case, it should be really easy to support this amendment, which says the legislation cannot cut benefits. It's quite simple. It's very easy. And then we can put this to bed and get back to debating other issues. If you say it does not cut benefits, then support the amendment that says it can't cut benefits. Last week, the president said that he would not, there was talk that he would not support adding additional burdens to the state. I'm not sure what happened in the back room where everyone came out, and the decision has been made to increase the state's portion, and which in turn will cut benefits to participants. There's no way to get to this number. It started out with $230 billion in cuts, and you guys have taken it up to $313 billion in cuts. And while you call it savings, people will not eat. Making the choice to not spend the money means you are also making the choice to not feed people. And it is not lost on me that the question still has not been answered. What happens if the states can't come up with their cost-sharing portion? This idea that well-run states will take care of it and legislatures will figure it out, again, as someone from a donor state that gives more to the federal government than we get back, I know that there are many red states that already receive more from the federal government. So what happens if a state can't come up with their portion? It means that people in your respective states will lose benefits. There is no way around it. I would have a lot more respect if you guys would come to the table and just say, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We think it is best to cut these programs. We think it is best to take benefits away. We've made that decision, and this is what we're doing. But these cowardly approaches to legislation, like it's a bait and switch, you're cutting benefits. There's no other way around it. You're cutting benefits and taking $60 billion and reinvesting it into other farm programs, which we have long called for supporting other farm programs, and taking the other $230 billion and shifting it to tax cuts for the wealthiest individuals. Just say it. Say it with your chest. This is what you're doing. You're taking food away from children. Maybe not 8-month-old children, but 8-year-old children. I encourage my colleagues to support this amendment, because if you're not cutting benefits, let's just put it up for a vote and say that you're not cutting benefits. I yield back.
Yield back to Ms. Davids.
To Ms. Davids.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I yield.
Yield back. Thank you.